Hello everybody, welcome back to Patagonia for the third round of the FAM Motocross World Championship. This is the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. We're just outside the picturesque alpine village of Villa Langostura. We're about 15 minutes away from that particular town, and we overlook all of these lakes and mountains in a fabulous part of the world on the west coast, or the west part of South America if you like. But in MX2 we had a fantastic first race. And in terms of overalls, because none of the current crop of riders, apart from 4 riders have raced here, but none of them are featured inside the top 5, so we'll have a brand new podium set of riders. In the past, KTM in the 125 and now MX2 category have won 5 times, Yamaha twice, Kawasaki once, Kajiva won a couple of times as well, back in 85, 86 when we first came to the north of the country in Salta. Pekka Bekanen and Dave Strybos the winners on those 2 occasions. But this is the racetrack here, and we've been coming to Neuquén now since 2015. Obviously we had a couple of years off because of, I don't know, a thing called a pandemic. But as it stands right now, that is the racetrack, 1,670 metres long, and it's a challenging racetrack. They've fixed the jump faces and some of the tricky little areas. They've put some fresh water down as well, and from that side, the fans should get another fantastic race here, not just in MX2 Race 2, but also MXGP Race 2 a little later on as well. But as you can see, track freshly watered, and riders making their way back from their sighting lap. Packed house here today. And from that side, all has been a successful Grand Prix. But let's take a look at what happened earlier on in our MX2 Race 1 highlights. The first gate drop of the season, of the Grand Prix then. And Jago Kietz and Tom Vial challenged for the Fox Holeshot line. At first it was given to Jago Kietz, but it was Vial who was later given the nod. They were closely followed by the 74 of Kai de Wolf. Simon Langenfelder was right in there as well, and so too was Isaac Gifting, and the 22, just like he did in the qualifying race, of Gianluca Facchetti. Andrea Adamo having one of those weekends. He eventually picked himself up to finish 11th. Mikkel Harup fell from 4th place, or 5th place, down to 8th. Then this was like the big moment in the race. Langenfelder went down from 4th, and immediately after that, Kai de Wolf went down from 3rd. We will have an update on Kai de Wolf in a moment. But Kevin Horgmo rode a fantastic race to eventually get himself to 3rd place. That move on Isaac Gifting, getting him there on his F&H Kawasaki. Guadagnini was having a hard charge through the field, but Harup kept on going after picking himself up. This move on Facchetti moved him into 7th, but he did eventually work his way up the leaderboard to finish in 4th place. Conrad Muse got high up the field and then faded back to an eventual 7th and then 6th. By the time the checkered flag fell, he found his way past Isaac Gifting on the final lap, just like Guadagnini found his way past Gifting a couple of laps earlier. Mikkel Harup carving his way through, as we already mentioned. But the last 2 laps, Jago Kietz had managed to finally break down a 2.5 second deficit to Tom Vial. Thought he'd made the move stick, but Vial outsmarted him. Then they got close again here, 3 or 4 corners later. There was still plenty of work to do. Fans on their feet, atmosphere electric. Kietz made the pass. Could he hold on? Yes, he could. And he took his 3rd straight win of the season from Vial and Guadagnini. Epic race, and that was a couple of hours ago. But before we go anywhere, let's go down to the grid. Lisa Leyland was down there. She caught up with rally rider Luciano Benavides. But before that, Rasmus Jorgensen, the team manager from Nissan Husqvarna Factory Racing, who have had an absolute torrid time here this weekend.
Hey everyone, we're almost ready for the second MX2 race of the day, but I have to speak to team manager from Nissan Husqvarna MX2 Factory Racing Team, Rasmus Jorgensen. Rasmus, sorry to do this interview with you, it's not a great one to do, but please just give us an update on Kai and Roan.
Yeah, like you say, it's a bit of a nightmare situation for the team and for everybody involved, you know. Roan crashing out yesterday in the qualifying race and Kai having a big one in the first moto, and it's too early to say exactly the extent of the injuries, if any. Kai hit his head pretty bad. Roan probably broke his collarbone yesterday. But the pictures here are not great, so we need to go home and get seen by a specialist to know the final extents of the injury and make a plan to come back on the bike.
Well, we wish them both a speedy recovery. Thanks, Raz. Okay, joining me now, we have another special guest. It's Luciano Benavides. Luciano, how are you finding the day? You're here at the motocross in Argentina, Patagonia.
Yeah, really good day so far. It's been incredible to be here with the fans in Argentina. It's been well for me. We started in the Dakar in Saudi Arabia, and then we did the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge a few weeks ago. So really good for me this season. So hoping for better races in the next months.
Yeah, well, these races here, we've so been looking forward to coming here to Patagonia. And it's something about the Argentinian fans. They're so passionate, aren't they, about racing, off-road and motocross, aren't they?
Yeah, I think here in Argentina it's always like this. It's always, you can feel the passion for the sport, for the motorsport, motocross, enduro, rally. I think it's a good atmosphere to be here, and I think all the riders can enjoy that, and it feels really good.
Enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks, Luciano. Okay, good luck to all the guys. It's time for the final MX2 race.
What a great, spectacular view that is from the part of the world where we are, the Garden of Patagonia, just outside of Villa Langostura. This third round of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. Full house of fans here today, and we are ready for our second half of the program with MX2 and MXGP Race 2. Here's how the riders line up for MX2 Race 2. Based on their qualifying race positions yesterday, of course, Jago Geerts will go to the line on pole ahead of Tom Vial. Kaider Wolf will not line up, though. Mikkel Harp, Simon Langenfelder, Mattia Guadagnini, Isaac Gifting and Stefan Rubini, with Jeremy Sido 9 and Gianluca Facchetti rounding out the top 10. Ahead of Conrad Muse, Kevin Horgmo and Håkan Fredriksson, and the rest of the guys there as well. Rigi Luciano, Pasquale, and... just the names there just going too quick. But anyway, no Roman Mostek either. We just heard from Rasmus Jorgensen. Jago Geerts lines up ahead of MX2 Race 2, having just won the last 3 races in a row, his 23rd career race win. He now has a 21-point lead over Simon Langenfelder. Tom Vial coming home in second place, now moves up to third in the championship, just 8 points behind the Red Bull Gas rider of Langenfelder, and he'll be hoping to reverse the positions that were delivered in race 1. He'll be hoping to be on the top step of the podium by the time he leaves here as well. There is Mattia Guadagnini, the Red Bull Gas rider. Had a fantastic third place finish in race 1. He started 8, dropped down to 10, and then eventually carved his way back to third. And another good ride for Mikkel Harp as well. Big Van Lord, MTX Kawasaki. The Dane, again, got himself up close to the top 5. He was in 5th for a couple of laps, fell down to 8th, plugged away, eventually was rewarded with a 4th place finish. He'll be hoping for better. He obviously has a good feeling on this track as well. So too does Isaac Gifting, who was just pipped to 6th place by Conrad Muse in race 1 for Hitachi KTM, fueled by Milwaukee. And Langenfelder, after starting so positively with a double race win at Matterley Basin, he missed the podium, but was probably the fastest rider on track in Lombardia that round 2. But that crash we saw in the highlights, leaving him in 13th place. I've spoken to David DeCarli since then. He just had some back pain. He's going to have to ride through it and get his way through is the message there. But we are getting ready to go racing here. Once again, MX2 Race 2, another 30 minutes plus 2 laps. And the Fly Racing 15-second board up for the final time here in Patagonia, Argentina. Fans on their feet over on the far side of the bank. All the big hitters down here on the inside gate. They've got an 85-meter drag down to the first turn. The Fly Racing 5-second board is about to turn. All eyes on these 2 or 3 riders over on this side of the gate. And it is Vial and Geerts on the back wheel. But going into that first turn, is everybody through safely? Yes, they are. And it's Vial with the foxhole shot, number 4 for the season and the second time today. Isaac Gifting up the inside of him, hits in third. Harp on the pegs in 4th. Facchetti, Facchetti! He was right there. He tagged the rear wheel of somebody. I think he fell in the path of another couple of riders as well. So if he's not beaten up and run over, Facchetti, unlucky. But it's Vial who leads, Gifting second. Geerts is third. Horgmo in blue is in fourth. Then Harp in fifth place. Then we've got Sido, Langenfelder, Rubini, Guadagnini, Chichi, Mara, Muse, Fredriksson, Adamo, Pascal and Rigi. In what is a very diluted field for this second race. Gifting up to second place on the opening lap here. Doing his best to keep Jago Geerts behind him. Geerts obviously does not want Vial to get too far ahead of him, but based on his result in race one and how he was able to pull back a 2.5 second deficit in the late stages of the race, as Vial gets out of shape. Gifting tries to carve to the inside. Geerts alongside him as they work their way through to the final few corners here. Fresh water down on the track, but traction absolutely at a premium. Round the outside. Launching off into the final couple of corners. Horgmo, the lead Kawasaki rider, number 24 for F&H, ahead of the 11 as Geerts tries to go around the outside and back up the inside. Beautifully done for the Belgian. He'll have the inside advantage at the end of the straight as he moves into second position at the end of that first lap. Gifting though, trying to spring a surprise, and he goes back through. We've got medical flags here from Facchetti as they're trying to deal with the situation there from the Italian. Geerts gets good drive though. Does eventually find his way back past for second place. So we now have, we've got I believe we've got a red flag situation about to unfold. Yeah, we've got waved yellows over here, but obviously the incident of Facchetti obviously being taken care of by the medical team here. Unfortunate for Gianluca Facchetti. Had a fantastic qualifying race, a good start to the first race as well before finishing in ninth place. He made a good start as well, but just coming out of that second turn, he looked like he got offline and then caught the rear wheel of another rider ahead of him. And with everybody going through that part of the racetrack, I wouldn't be surprised if he felt the brunt of more than one machine or two, but hopefully things are okay down there. But obviously they do need to take some kind of precautions, or as many as possible, to be fair. But a red flag situation then at the end of this first lap. It will be everybody back for a full restart, and that is obviously not what we wanted here. And as soon as we have news of Facchetti's condition or news that the race can in fact go ahead, then of course we will. But as you can see, the riders making their way around the racetrack to back to the waiting zone. So it'll be a because we've only completed one lap, it'll be a full restart and a full race distance as well. If the red flag comes out and we're a certain point into the race, obviously then the riders will start from pit lane in single file. So they will be released out of pit lane in single file in the position that they were at the end of that lap. So I think given the fact that the red flag has gone out just after the first lap, it should be a full restart, full time on the clock, so 30 minutes plus 2. But, of course, we will have that information as soon as we get it. So, all silence again here as the MX2 riders make their way back to the waiting zone. Ahead of what was, ahead of what will be race 2 when we do get restarted. But obviously a situation there involving Gianluca Facchetti. Hopefully everything is okay though, and we will resume as soon as we can. But in terms of the championship, before we arrived here for this third round, Jago Geerts was 4 points clear of Langenfelder, with the Wolf third, Vial fourth, 26 points off the lead. Obviously, he starts race 2, 26 points off the lead, but has moved up a couple of positions. This is what happened here from above. So Facchetti to the inside. Caught the rear wheel of Horgmo, and then just got offline there. Maybe caught the back of Harp, but was already down and out at that point anyway. So just wondering whether he maybe has a slight concussion there. So the paramedics and the medics here, the medical team, doing a fantastic job, taking as much care as possible. And as soon as we get the okay, then we will resume here. But by the end of that first lap, it looked like they were about to have him taken to the medical centre. So a bit of a downer for the start of this second race then. But other than that, we've had a fantastic weekend, and you see the riders already in the waiting zone getting ready for MX2 Race 2. Fresh prep behind the gates. Shouldn't take too long. But race 1 then was won by Jargo Geerts, his third career win. There's Mikkel Harp. He looks quite pleased with himself. Another good start for the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki. The clock there paused at 27 minutes and 36. So we will wait to see whether time will resume from then and the positions as they are now, or whether it should be a full restart. Hopefully we get somebody down there who will be able to confirm that information for us. But so far, the fans here have had an absolute ball this weekend, as have we. Let's just remind ourselves what happened in race 1. Jargo Geerts was your winner for the third time this year. 3 consecutive race wins as well now, going back to the previous round in Italy where he was a double race winner and stood on the top step of the podium. And on the podium for the second time this season. Tom Vial was second. Those two going at it right the way down to the checkered flag. Guadagnini came home third, a much-needed third-place finish for Mattia Guadagnini on the Red Bull Gas. Guadagnini, of course, finished fourth in the championship last year. His last top 3 finish was at the final race of the final round last year. But prior to that, it was at the second of the Trentino races where he was second. So hopefully that has eased the pressure somewhat on the Italian there, who was just putting his helmet back on. There's Harp, fourth in race 1. And there's Gifting, another fantastic start for the Hitachi KTM fueled by Milwaukee rider. I think Stephen Sword there, the team trainer, just having a quick word with him, maybe getting him to refocus on all of that. Jargo Geerts got himself into second by the time of the stoppage, just behind Tom Vial. So we're apparently being told now 3 minutes from the restart, and on my timing screen it's just come back up 30 minutes plus 2 laps. So obviously the officials then resetting the clocks, because there was a thought around the place that it would be as it was concluded. But here we go again with a full restart in just a few moments' time. At the end of this MX2 Race 2, though, we will have a new-looking podium, of course, because in the previous visits here, going back to 2015, in MX2, the first ever winner was Dylan Ferrandis on a Kawasaki. That's Kawasaki's only victory around here in all classes, by the way. Jeffrey Hurlings won in 2016 in MX2. And then it was Paul Jonas, who was a double Grand Prix winner 2017 and 18. And then in 2019, Jorge Prado, victorious in MX2. But as we said, none of the current crop of riders lining up today have featured inside the top 5 or 6 positions. And only 4 of them have made the trip to Argentina in the past in this MX2 category. And of course, they are Jargo Geerts, Tom Vial, Conrad Muse, and Stefan Rubini. So, Mr. Ingo Parch, our race director then from the FIM, getting ready to walk back down the start straight towards the Fly Racing 5 and 15 second boards. Jargo Geerts, Monster Energy Yamaha, refocusing then ahead of this restart to race 2. Incidentally, Yamaha in the MX2 category have 2 Grand Prix wins. They were 94 and 95 in the 125 division. Bob Moore and Alessio Chiodi. KTM have 5 though. Around, and they all, apart from one of them, Trampus Parker in 1989 in the 125 class, which was at Kosken in the 125 division. Jeffrey Hurlings, Paul Jonas twice, and Jorge Prado, the other 4 winners. There is Stefan Rubini, the ship-to-cycle Honda SR Motor Blues rider. 8th in race 1. he'll be hoping to improve on that in race 2. And Stefan Rubini, 7th overall at the opening round at Matchley Basin, 13th, so not a good hunting ground for him at Lombardia 1 round ago. So obviously he'll be hoping to better that 7th overall if he can. But we look like we're getting ready to go racing once again. So the Fox hole shot from Vial will be scrapped, and there'll be another chance for everybody else to try and bag a black plate by the end of this race. And it will happen in about 85 metres time. Right, let's go again then. The Fly Racing 15-second board goes up for the final time, MX2 race 2. All eyes down the start straight and into that first turn. The Fox hole shot line just midway through the turn. 5-second board has turned. Who will it be this time that grabs the Fox hole shot? Good jump from everybody over on that right side. And again, it's one of the Gas riders who goes around the outside. I think it was Langenfelder or maybe Guadagnini. Langenfelder it was who grabbed the Fox hole shot then. This time, Jago Kietz right there in 2nd position. Vial 3rd as they head over the first hill. Just behind them, we have, I think it might be Jeremy Sido, it is, on the Diga Procross KTM, sandwiched between the 2 KTMs of Horgmo and Harup. Through the waves then for the first time in this restarted 2nd race. And it's Langenfelder with a much needed break at the moment. He finds himself leading the way. Oh, there's some horrible braking bumps there. Caught Jago Kietz out, forced him wide to the outside. Vial not able to capitalise though on that occasion. See how slippery it is coming out of that turn at the top of the hill, turn 10 around the tree. A gnarly racetrack now as Vial may cut back to the inside here if Kietz is not careful, and he makes a mistake anyway, and the Frenchman almost found a way through into that 2nd place. Kietz will look to go defensive here to the inside, and Vial thought about tripling across and the back end stepping out, and this will be a moment of opportunity for Vial. Not able to take it though with both hands. Tries to get on the gas nice and early, but it's still going to be Langenfelder who leads at the end of this opening lap. All eyes on the battle behind them though, Kietz and Vial. And Langenfelder, of course, the race leader, trying to hold on to that 2nd place in the championship. Vial trying to get on the fat part of the tyre early. Can't make the move happen there though. Behind them, Horgmo, Guadagnini, Harup, Rubini, Sido, Fredriksson, Muse. They are your top 10. Adamo in 12th place. Kietz knows he's got to strike early. Doesn't want to deal with the threat. This is what he did to Vial in race 1. Vial cut back on that occasion. Langenfelder not able to do the same though. Kietz leads on lap 2. Tom Vial would have seen that move. He's got 1 or 2 tricks up his own sleeve though, has the Frenchman on the Red Bull KTM. We'll get a lap time this time around when they hit the Monster Energy finish line. This is the part of the racetrack where Langenfelder fell on lap 5. He'll just be trying to make it through this one as it stands right now as the back ends light up through that left turn. Kietz will be looking at a double race win as Vial tries to go after Langenfelder. Langenfelder riding with a sore back after his crash in that first race. Vial tries to get up the inside of the German, who denies the Frenchman, and I thought he was going to land on the back of the gas there. Tries to go inside again. He'll cut back to the inside through the final turn here. He'll try and out-drag the German down the pit straight. Has to cut back to the inside. He'll now switch it back. Oh, he decides last minute to go around the outside, and it paid off. Perfect racecraft that from the 28th. Vial moves into 2nd. Meanwhile, Horgmo in 4th place. A couple of seconds further back on the F&H Kawasaki. There he is, the flash of green. Just behind him, we have Guadagnini and Harrop, then Rubini, Frederiksen, Sido and Adamo. Through the wave section. Bottom of the screen, Jago Kietz leads. He was 1.3 seconds clear of Langenfelder at the start of the lap, but it's now Vial in second place. So the Red Bull KTM here, number 28. Can he do to Kietz what the Belgian did to him in race one and pick his pocket in the late stages of the race? Kevin Horgmo here, number 24 in green, looking to find a way past Langenfelder. This is for third place. And Guadagnini right there as well. So Horgmo sandwiched between the two Red Bull Gas riders of Langenfelder in third and Guadagnini in fifth. Get ready to hit the line for the end of lap 3. It was the fastest lap of the race. 4 hits at the end of the previous lap, a 46.9, a 47.3 for him this time around. But Vial, a couple of tenths quicker than Hits on that occasion. The gap 1.4 as Horgmo looks to try and dispatch the 5.16 of Langenfelder. Both riders up on the pegs and then sitting down through what is a very choppy turn 2. Langenfelder knows he needs to keep this second place in the championship alive. He'll move to 114. Vial will be on 108 in third place. Mattia Guadagnini, third rider in shot, coming into land behind the Kawasaki of Horgmo. Gifting is in 15th place, so Gifting hasn't turned in a lap. So I'm not sure what's happened to Gifting actually. Through those two rollers and step-ups as Vial looking like he is closing in. And Hirt, I tell you what, he was testing the boundaries there because that berm looks a little bit weak over by the Athena banner midway through. I think that may have just allowed Vial to get a bit closer, even though the Frenchman, the Belgian was 25.3 compared to a 25.5 at Sector 1. Pretty much the same at Sector 2. But, well, more than half a second faster at Sector 3. That gap is not going to be 1.4 anymore, is it, as they hit the line, the two leaders. In fact, it's just over a second now, 1:0.13. Langenfelder third, Horgmo fourth. Guadagnini 5, and just bringing up the rear now, number 11 on the big MTX Kawasaki, Mikkel Harrop. He was so strong in race 1, he was up to 5th before falling to 8th, eventually clawed his way back to 4th place by the time the checkered flag fell. The Dane has 3 riders directly in his line of sight, and he'll believe he can pick them off, just like Horgmo believes he can pick off Langenfelder here. Langenfelder leading the way through the waves in 3rd place. Hits the jump at the end of the straight. Horgmo closing in on him. Tries to cut back, doesn't work there. Will it work here in the left-hand turn? Yes, it does. Has to keep, and he does make the move stick as well. He had to keep Langenfelder to the outside. That's exactly what he did. He takes a nervous look across. Finally into 3rd place for Horgmo. Mattia Guadagnini high and wide around the outside, looking to go after his teammate. He doubles his way through as well. So 2 positions lost for the German on this lap as Guadagnini goes into 4th place. And we've got a battle for the lead here. Vial gets up the inside of the Belgian, takes over the lead at the end of lap 5. Geertz will try to cut back. Vial, very good at those kind of maneuvers, though, reading those situations. So these two, 5.5 seconds quicker than anybody else. Vial, the fastest rider on track that time around and the fastest lap of the race. And Guadagnini has found his way past Hogmo as well. So Guadagnini all of a sudden up into third place. Through the end of the wave section. There you see, bottom of your screen, Guadagnini third, Hogmo 4, Langenfelder 5, Harup in 6th. Then a gap back to Rubini, about 5 seconds adrift of these 4 riders here. He's in 7th, then we've got Adamo, Fredriksson on the 114 Honda, and Jeremy Sido for Diga Procross KTM. Harup looking still to find a way past. Langenfelder closes him down now on the exit of the turn, so he goes to the inside this time around. Almost makes the pass stick. Gets the back wheel on the ground early, gets good drive there as well. This is your first 2 riders. They were 0.4 of a second ahead, or they were 4/10 apart at the end of the previous lap. Langenfelder under pressure. Does not want to yield a place to Mikkel Harup in 6th place. Meanwhile, Tom Vial, another fastest lap of the race, a 46.5, goes 1.4 seconds quicker than Jago Geertz, and that, of course, is for the overall victory as well. Harup trying to hold a tight line through a very choppy turn 2. Langenfelder keeping him right there, though. The Dane takes a look over his shoulder, thinks, right, what have I got to lose if it all goes wrong? Trying to find my way past. Langenfelder riding a very wide gas at the moment. Harup gets good drive. Not enough, though, unless he can make something happen here out of the turn early and out of the turn early in this next corner. That's what he thought. Just loses a little bit of traction on the exit, but he still gets himself alongside Langenfelder. He's going to have to go high and wide here. That's exactly what he does. Cuts back across the berm, and it's Langenfelder who still hangs on to 5th. Meanwhile, Vial still gaining ground through the first 2 sections on Jago Geertz. As Harup does get the power down this time around and eases past Langenfelder into 5th. Bit of a damage limitation race this, you feel, for the battered and bruised Langenfelder. Beat up in Lombardia 2 weeks ago, just about recovered from that, smashed himself into the ground again in race 1 today. So bearing a few more battle scars and bruises here and there, but he's there in 6th place at the moment, keeping his championship alive. But he loses 2nd place in the championship to Tom Vial as it stands right now. Whoa. Harup had to go into overcorrect mode. So Vial leads 2.4 seconds, and Hogmo has gone down. He was gaining on Guadagnini. Just lost the front, didn't he, coming into here? All that hard work. And Hogmo now finds himself back behind Langenfelder and into the clutches of Rubini. So Guadagnini on his own in 3rd then. He had about a second advantage over Hogmo as they hit the line, but Hogmo looking like he was challenging for that 3rd place. So a bit of clear track then between Guadagnini and the next rider behind him. Probably 4 seconds further back. Mikkel Harup finds himself in 5th now. Guadagnini eyeing up a podium here this weekend as he rounds himself out of the penultimate turn. Vial and Geerts are separated by 2.2 seconds. And here are the leaders. 47.3, 47.06. Vial, Geerts respectively. Are we going to see a repeat of what happened in race 1 between these two? Where Jago Geerts picks the pocket of Vial in the final stages of the race. That's what he'll be hoping. That's what the whole of the Yamaha squad will be hoping. Red Bull KTM, meanwhile, will have other ideas and expectations of Tom Vial, and so too will the former world champion himself. Mikkel Harup just set his fastest lap of the race that time around, a 1:47.7. Compare that to Guadagnini ahead of him, who's 3 seconds further up the track, a 49.03. That's those two in the background. And he's still gaining as he goes green in both sectors 1 and 2, Mikkel Harup. So all of a sudden, Guadagnini in danger in the next couple of laps or so of losing that 3rd place, or certainly being challenged for that 3rd place. Right, Vial Geerts, sectors 1, 2 and 3, 25.5, 25.4, a 10th gain back, 24.8, 24.5, another 3/10 pull back, about the same in sector 3. So that gap is coming down. Let's see what it's going to be at the end of this lap, 1 point something. Nine laps in the books, 1.9, so it is coming down. And crucially for Geerts, it's less than that 2 seconds. And you can see Vial getting closer to him. The nature of this racetrack, though, you have to be right on the ragged edge. High speed, the bumps, the accelerating bumps are pretty high speed as well. Braking bumps, you're coming at the end of those long straights. There's always something happening, a lot of movement with the bike. Very easy to make a mistake, whether you lose the front, the back, or whatever else. Another 4/10 pull back by the Belgian, though, in sector 1. Loses the front and loses that ground, possibly. Did well to stay up, though, coming out of that corner. Did the red plate holder, the championship leader. Probably cost him like 3 or 4 tenths, that little mistake, according to our sector 2 times. Vial knows that Geerts is there, though. He can't afford to switch off. Again, there was that moment. The berm was feeble, and he's just ran the risk, Jago Geerts, and it's cost him more time. Did not learn from that earlier mistake, where it looked like the berm was about to give way. Just runs in hot, but there's nothing there to support him at the top. Lucky to get away with that one. And it's handed a lifeline to Vial, who was 1.9 ahead of Geerts at the start of this lap. And with 10 laps complete, with a 1:48.2 and a 1:49.8, that gap all of a sudden has gone out to 3.4 seconds. A costly error for Geerts. We still have 12 minutes plus 2 laps to go, though. And he is still 8 seconds clear of Guadagnini. What about Mikkel Harup, though, in 4th place? Gaining. He is within touching distance of Guadagnini for 3rd. So here's Geerts, about 8 seconds further back. We have Guadagnini and Harup separated by not a lot. So as Vial comes into land here, about 11-12 seconds further back, and here they are, Harup all over the back of him. So the Big Band World MTX Kawasaki has locked right onto the rear wheel of the Red Bull Gas. Traffic on the horizon as well. This is for 3rd place in the race, and it might even be for the podium as well. Harrop has ridden very, very strongly this weekend. And he's having another solid race here in race 2. Looking to get onto the podium. Got to keep it clean though, through corners like that. Has the Kawasaki rider. Just the one podium in MX2 for Mikkel Harrop. Right at the start of the 2020 season. First round of the year, Matterley Basin, third overall. Could be looking at the third step again as the waved yellow's in the turn here. Who's that that's gone down? Rider down, so obviously not one of the main contenders. "11 laps complete. Nothing in it between these two. Guadagnini and Harrop, third and fourth in the race, battling for the third step of the podium in this third round of the MX2 World Championship. And he's side by side with Guadagnini. The Italian will know that the Dane is right there. He may even see a flash of green, and he does know he's there. He checks him up to the outside. He'll go defensive now in this next turn. Harrop may just get better drive through the waves, but the further out to the right you go, the wider they are, but he gets cut back to the inside neatly. It is not going to be an easy task finding his way past the former Junior World 125 champ. Unless he does something here, and that's exactly what he does. Chucks it in, gets in and out early. Harrop is up to third. Guadagnini tried to pull the clutch in there and give him the big full throttle panic rev moment. Did nothing to scare Harrop though. He's coming back for more though as the Italian. Oh, he tried to get in, didn't he? He'll be annoyed that he's given up that third place. There's still 9 minutes plus 2 to go though, of course. So the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki, number 11, Mikkel Harrop, moves into third on lap 12. Meanwhile, the leaders over the line, they're 2.1 seconds apart now. 47.7, 46.9 for Vial and Geerts respectively. So once again, late stages of the race, the Belgian starting to home in ever so slightly on the Frenchman. Guadagnini and Harrop. Harrop will be third overall on 38 points, tied with Guadagnini. So I'm sure both pit crews will be telling them that kind of information. You need third for the podium. Meanwhile, 5.16, Langenfelder. He finds himself in fifth, under close scrutiny from the 24 of Kevin Horgmo on the F&H Kawasaki. Making up for the mistake that he made around here a couple of laps ago. Not able to find a way through. Well, he might now, though, if he can keep it clean through the exit of the turn, but Langenfelder too quick, though. Just over 7 minutes plus 2 to go. MX2 race 2. Track physically and mentally challenging because of the high-speed nature and the high-speed bumps as well that the riders are hitting. We're about 900 metres altitude as well, so not too much in the way of breathing difficulties. Bikes obviously not running as strong as they normally would at sea level. So everything working harder than usual. Meanwhile, the leaders still separated by probably 1.8 now, the gap. Vial and Geerts, who pulls another 3-4 tenths on the race lead at that time around. Too much airtime there for Horgmo. Final turn for these two. 13 laps complete. Langenfelder, Red Bull Gas in fifth. Horgmo, F&H Kawasaki, the second rider in shot. Number 24 in blue, he's in sixth place. Going to be fifth overall for Horgmo. That will equal what he did last time out in Lombardia round 3. And he will also move up to 5th in the championship. Started the day 7th overall. Langenfelder on the rope, so he knows that the Norwegian is there, ready to pounce, doing his best to keep him at bay. Oh, he might just get through here as well. End of the straight, he'll cut back to the inside, not just here, but in the next turn as well. Horgmo. And that's exactly what he does. He's not able to go through, though. Langenfelder read it perfectly. Horgmo frustrated now. Back alongside the 5.16 of Langenfelder. Has to go. Oh, brave move. He went round the outside. Wow. Horgmo up into 5th place. Still got some work to do, though, at the end of the straight, but it looks like Horgmo has just held on to that 5th place. Needs a good clean couple of final corners here just to get over the line. Watch this here. Was expecting him to cut back and he was like, no. And I think Langenfelder expected him to cut back as well. Didn't see that one coming. Right, 47.5, 48.5, a full second gained by Vial that time over Jago Geerts. Those two 2.8 seconds apart at the head of the field. That would determine the overall as well. First, second, third, Vial, Geerts, Harup. That's how it finished in the race and overall on the day if things were to stay like this. Harup on the verge of his second ever MX2 podium. Both of them third place finishes. Oh, Vial absolutely demolishes a berm. Geerts almost gets caught out by it. Had to straighten up mid-corner. Right, sectors 1 and 2, 25.4, 25.5, 0.7, 0.6. This was the moment earlier on in the race that Vial took the lead. Over the line this time around. What's the gap now? It was 2.8. It is now 2.7. 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go, though. That is a lot of time to make up when you're only 1 or 2 tenths apart. And Vial getting stronger this time as the race goes on. Oh, just thought somebody gone down there. Apologies. So 2.5 to go. That's your podium at the moment. First and second tied on points. Third and fourth tied on points. Here is Harup making his way towards the third step of the podium with 2:20 to go. Guadagnini has disappeared to the tune of about 7 seconds. So what a fantastic job this is for the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki, Mikkel Harup. Right, Vial back with us. Again, that outside line just in the previous corner, just as we were focusing on Vial, it looked like Geerts just kind of stood himself up a little bit more there, but he's still there in second place. 25.6, 25.4, he gained a couple tenths. 24.6, 24.8, lost a couple tenths. Lost another one in sector 3. So again, Vial looking like he's going to be close to a 3-second advantage now as they go into lap 17. 16 complete for the Red Bull KTM. A lap time 1:47.585 compared to a 1:48.578. So that gap now almost 4 seconds between those two. Surely this is Vial's race and Grand Prix to lose. Of course, back markers on the horizon every now and again. Done a good job this time around. Tom Vial, again, sector 1. Pulling another 4/10. Of course, it's always good to win the Grand Prix, but if your main rival takes the Grand Prix victory and you share the same points, but I'm sure both these riders feeling very strongly about wanting to go out and win the overall this weekend. Tom Vial looking good, able to rectify what he did in race 1 so far, getting stronger and stronger as the race goes on. Jago Kietz going to be second overall in the race, second overall in the Grand Prix as well. 2-lap board getting ready to go out. That's the gap between first and second. Penultimate corner to last corner. Another good lap time of 48.4 this time around after 17 laps for Tom Vial. Jago Kietz now 6 seconds adrift, so he's thrown in the towel. Said to Tom Vial, okay, you have it. I'll see you next time. Portugal, round 4. So these two already playing mind games as early as round 3. Kietz in race 1, picking the pocket of the Frenchman to take the win with a couple of laps to go. Vial breaking him with a few laps to go in race 2. Is this where the championship really starts for Vial? We'll leave here, second overall in the championship chase. Meanwhile, Horup still there in third. Guadagnini 4th, Langenfelder 5, Adamo 6, Sido 7, Rubini, Muse, Horgmo, Fredriksson down in 11th place. Then just behind them, Pablo Jereminas, Pasquale, Luciano Righi, Fermin, Chichimara. Isaac Gifting didn't even do a lap, yet he was in the race when the first part of race 2 was red flagged after a lap. But a dominant display this time around from the former world champion, Tom Vial. One more lap to go for the Red Bull KTM rider. He's backed it off as well. 150 lap times for him this time around. Jago Kietz, 6.3 seconds drift. Just didn't have the answers this time around for the number 28. But he will leave here, same points as Vial, but on the second step of the podium. Just looking down the order there, Kevin Horgmo down in 11th place. He was running up there in, 5th place. He was just behind Guadagnini, wasn't he, at one point? Or certainly, but he's not sure if he's been off or what, but we'll keep our eyes peeled around the track, see if we can see him anywhere. But Jago Kietz will leave here on 137, Vial on 111, a gap of 26 points now. It was 4 at the start of the day, so more than a race win advantage if he can just bring it home the next half a lap. Just behind, only about 5 or 6 seconds further back, is Mikkel Harup. Obviously, Kietz backing it off. Harup, no such thing. 48, quicker than both the two leaders ahead of him. Tom Vial, bottom of your picture, working his way back towards, well, I'll tell you what, that was close. See how soft the dirt is where he came into land there as well. Into the penultimate corner. And Tom Vial will round out the final turn. He will win race 2. He will win the Patagonia Argentina Grand Prix. That is a big win and a big boost in confidence for the Frenchman. Jago Kietz over the line in second in the race, second in the Grand Prix. Looks down at his right hand, so not sure what happened there. And Harop, a fantastic third in the race and third in the Grand Prix. Guadagnini will cruise round in fourth place. Probably knowing that it should have been better, but you know what? It's another step in the right direction for Guadagnini. 11th overall at the first round, 9th round 2, 4th overall here round 3. He is improving every step of the way. So MX2 race 2 then comes to a concluding end with Vial winning from Kietz, Harop, Guadagnini, Langenfelder, Adamo, Sido, Rubini, Muse, Fredriksson. And I think Horgmo obviously had some kind of problem because he's showing now as 2 or 3 laps down. But in a moment, we are going down to Lisa. She's with our Grand Prix winner, Tom Vial.
Tom Vial, massive congratulations. It's been a tough few weeks for you, so it's so nice to see you back up at the sharp end. First overall victory of the season, I guess this means a lot to you.
I'm so happy. It was tough, you know, the last few weeks. In Montauban I had a big crash, so you know it's always a little bit in the brain, and I was ready for it to win the second moto and win the GP here, so I'm so happy. Thanks to the team for the amazing work, and just can't wait to go to the next race. Thank you.
Great job. Thanks, Tom.
Tom Vial wins race 2. This is 28th race victory, his 33rd podium, his 15th as a Grand Prix winner. The Red Bull KTM rider now moves up to 2nd overall in the championship, 26 points down on Jago Kietz. But he'll be feeling very, very comfortable going into Portugal round 4 in 2 weeks' time. Tom Vial, your Grand Prix winner here this weekend in MX2. Official confirmation then of MX2 race 2. Tom Vial wins it by about 6.5 seconds over Jago Kietz. Mikkel Harp fantastic in 3rd. Guadagnini and Langenfelder rounding out the top 5 ahead of Adamo, Sido and Rubini. And then Conrad Muse, Fredriksson, Pablo Jeremias, Pasquale, Luciano Righi, Kevin Horgmo, Fermin Chichimara and Isaac Gifting. The overall Grand Prix victory belongs to Vial, taking his 15th career win this weekend in Argentina. Jago Kietz shares the points, but it's the 2nd step of the podium for the Belgian. Mikkel Harp on the podium for the first time since round 1, 2020. In terms of the championship, Jago Kietz extends his lead from 4 to 21 points over Tom Vial, who now moves up a couple of positions. Langenfelder down to 3rd and Harop up to 4th on the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki. Adamo, no change for him in 5th. And Yamaha lead the way in the Manufacturers' Championship. 137 points for them ahead of Gas, KTM, Kawasaki, Husqvarna and Honda. Take a look at the Fox whole shot, shall we? Right at the start of the race, here's what happened. And Simon Langenfelder on the Red Bull Gas, taking his 3rd of the season. Right, let's go to the podium then, shall we? Obviously need to get a hurry on here because obviously we had that stoppage. So let's go. 3rd overall this weekend, round 3. The MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. And it was a fantastic performance from him as well. Number 11 on the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki. The rider from Denmark, Mikkel Harop. So Harop, 3rd overall this weekend. His 2nd career podium in MX2. The Big Van World MTX Kawasaki rider will be absolutely chuffed to bits with that. Second overall, Jago Kietz, a winner in race 1, second in race 2. The Monster Energy Yamaha Factory MX2 rider shares the same points as the eventual winner, but does extend his championship lead as well. But your overall winner, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, Tom Vial, responds to that defeat in race 1 with his own victory in race 2 to stand on the top step of the podium. His 15th Grand Prix victory. He does it here in Patagonia. Dirk Grubel will take the team trophy, but not before we see the trophies handed out to the top 3. Sofia Sanucci, Neuquén Minister of Child and Youth, on hand to deliver that third place trophy, the second podium and second trophy in his MX2 career, to Mikkel Harup. Pedro Venturo Jr., the FAM Latin America president, hands a second place trophy to Jago Kietz. And Tom Vial, the overall winner here, round 3, will receive his winner's trophy from Fabio Stefani, the mayor of Villa Langostura. Thank you for inviting us back, my friend. Fantastic part of the world. If you've never been, make sure you put it on your to-do list or your bucket list or whatever list it is that you keep at home. KTM on the top step of the podium in MX2 for the 6th time then. Luciana Villalba, the deputy mayor of Villa Langostura, handing the winner's trophy to Dirk Grubel of Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. And Antonio Alia Portela, the FIM CMS director, hands the championship leader's red plate to Jago Kietz, who will head to Portugal round 4 with that still firmly affixed to the front of his Monster Energy Yamaha. Your top 3 here, Tom Vial, Jago Kietz and Mikkel Harup. And for Tom Vial, Les Marseillaise, the national anthem of France. Top 3 here this weekend in the MX2 Grand Prix of Patagonia, Argentina. Tom Vial, your winner with a second and a first. Jago Kietz, second with a first and a second. Mikkel Harup, third overall with a fourth and a third. We'll talk to the top 3 in just a few moments' time.
Vamos a hacer un anuncio y una presentación muy especial. Comenzando con Lucas de la Fuente.
MX2 race 2 went a little bit like this then in Patagonia. Over on the right-hand side, Jago Kietz, Tom Vial, but it was around the outside. Oh, this was the first restart, wasn't it? Gianluca Facchetti in around about 4th or 5th position, just behind the 2 Kawasaki's. He spun out of control here and then caught the rear wheel of possibly Jago Kietz there. He went down. We had a red flag situation. When the red flag were put away and the race was restarted, here's what happened. Simon Langenfelder took the foxhole shot for the 3rd time this season. Jago Kietz right there behind him. But as we went through the first few turns here, Jago Kietz eventually battled through to get himself up there into first place. Tom Vial went round the outside of Langenfelder to get into second. Then he had to yield as Horgmo came charging through. Horgmo then up into 3rd place. Guadagnini was on a charge, found his way up the inside of Langenfelder as well. Then the challenge for the lead, the battle for the lead, changed hands. Lap 5, Vial up the inside of Hietz. Then Horgmo just lost the front. Picked himself up, but then would not finish the race later on. Mikkel Harup was then absolutely on it. Not before Horgmo, though. Picked himself up and started charging through, but 2 corners to go. 28, Tom Vial picking himself up to win the race and the overall.
Tom Vial, congratulations. It's been so close between you and Hietz all weekend. Hietz outsmarted you in race 1, but you weren't going to make the same mistake twice. Tell us about your weekend.
That was a nice weekend. You know, I really wanted to win. I didn't win the first 2 races of the championship, so yeah, it was a race to win today. I felt good all weekend, and Jago was also very fast, so it was tough. I wanted to pass, and second moto I passed him, and then I could keep the lead till the end, so it was very nice. I want to thank the team for the great job. Everybody who worked on KTM for the amazing bike, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Second overall today we have Jago Hietz. Jago, winner of race 1. It was a perfect, well-timed race from yourself. Maybe a couple of mistakes in that second race when you were pushing to regain the lead. You still got the red plate. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I'm happy about the weekend. First heat was really good. Second heat had a good start, but after 10-15 minutes I got really big blisters on my hands, so it was difficult to keep the control, but you cannot win every moto, so I'm happy with the 1-2 today and keep the red plate, so looking forward to the next GPs.
Great job, thanks Jago. Third overall today we have Mikkel Harup. Great to see you, Mikkel. You've been solid all weekend, some hard charging races from you. This is only your second ever MX2 podium, the first this year. Fantastic weekend for you.
Yeah, the weekend started out a little slow like it did a couple other weekends ago, but this time I had a better feeling with the bike, finally get to feel good on the track, and yeah, I could feel already from Saturday off that I was quick and I had the pace to go on for the podium, but it took a lot of hard work, especially today. I had to charge through the pack in first motor because I made a little mistake, but all in all it was just a super weekend, and I'm so happy to be back on the podium. It feels really good. The work finally pays off. Yeah.
Thank you.
A jubilant Mikkel Harup then third overall on the Big Van World MTX Kawasaki, his second career podium in MX2 and his first of the season. It's his first since Mattley Basin round 1 2020, of course, a weekend where he got a pole position that day as well. But Mikkel Harup third overall here, round 3 MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. He'll believe he can do it again, I'm sure. Jago Hietz suffering from blisters in race 2, couldn't hold on then, the pace just too hot, but he does leave here with an extended lead in the championship, 26 points clear now of Tom Vial, the overall Grand Prix winner, who moves up to second in the championship. And for Jago Hietz, his 30th career podium. Tom Vial, though, his 15th Grand Prix victory. The Red Bull KTM rider victorious here in Patagonia, Argentina. He's second in race 1, a winner here in race 2. It was a big win for the Frenchman. We'll see him and the rest of the guys in Portugal in 2 weeks' time. Right, next up, MXGP Race 2. See you in a moment. Hello everybody, welcome back to the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. Round 3 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. We are in the Garden of Patagonia. Beautiful part of the world. We are just 15k or so from the beautiful, picturesque alpine resort of Villa Langostura. This is literally the scenery that we see every single day since we've been here. Some of us from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, depending when your planes arrive. But we've got one more race to go, and it'll be a shame to leave this beautiful part of the world once again. But the last time we were here, it was Antonio Cairoli who was victorious in 2019. But Paul Jonas, a 2-time winner. Jorge Prado has also won here as well. So too has Tim Geiser. He's on the top step twice previously in 16 and 17. So we have plenty of winners and plenty of contenders for the podiums here, of course. Jeremy Seawer and people like that have been on the podium in the past as well, but the racetrack here at Neuquén, just outside of Isla Angostura, 1,670 metres long, 85 metres into that first turn. So from the finish line, around the first couple of corners, and then the base of the third jump, down the back straight through the trees, that's where your Sector 1 ends, Sector 2 begins. And then just after the wave section, the Montreux jump through that next right, around about there is where Sector 2 ends, Sector 3 begins. And then, as you can see, it gets lighter. So 4 sectors in which to look out for. Let's go down. In fact, before we do the pre-grid interviews, let's go and check out what happened in MXGP Race 1. Here's what happened earlier. MXGP Race 1, the gates dropped under beautiful sunshine. Henry Jacobi, a little bit wild as he headed down the start straight in the first turn. He did bag the foxhole shot, though. He lost time on the exit of the turn. Maxime Renault took over the lead. Ruben Fernandez was right behind him in second position. Paul Jonas third. Seawer in the blue and white of the Argentina football strip and the national colours of the flag in fourth place. But as we got into the wave section, Ruben Fernandez, Honda 114, took over the lead until this happened about 3 corners later. Chucked it away spectacularly. That handed the advantage then to Maxime Renault. Geiser moved himself into second with that move on Seawer. And then Jonas, who was leading, he fell around about the halfway mark. Renault took over the lead. Geiser was up to second. When he found his way past Seawer, and then he went after Maxime Renault. And for the last 5-10 minutes of the race, this is how close the two were. Jonas lost another couple of positions late on. He would cross the line in 6th. But it was Maxime Renault who held on for the win ahead of Geiser, Seawer, Prado and Olsen. His first win in MXGP and his 12th career race victory. And the fans absolutely loved it, and we've loved having the fans back as well. Full house here this weekend at round 3. Let's go down to Lisa. Right, she was first with Ruben Fernandez, Honda 114 Motorsports, but before that, the guy who led so much of that first race, Paul Jonas, standing construct Husqvarna.
So we're almost ready for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2. But let's speak to one of the main protagonists of that first race, is Paul Jonas. Paul, we saw you go down out of the lead. What happened?
Yeah, you know, like I was leading for a long time, which was surprisingly, and I was feeling real well, and then just made a small mistake there in the corner and went in the ruts a little bit sideways, and on a takeoff to the jump, lost the balance in the ruts and just went down. So after that, I tried to get back in rhythm, but it was quite difficult. But yeah, now just focus on the second moto.
Well, look at the positives. You've got the starts, you've got the speeds. I mean, you've been strong all weekend, and it has been a tough couple of weeks coming into this round. I mean, that's a main confidence boost for you anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It's been really good, you know, like it's a nice confidence booster, and I'm feeling really well. So, yeah, just need to put in some hours on the bike, and we'll be ready to battle with the guys up front every weekend.
Good race, thank you. So I need to catch up with Ruben Fernandez from Team 114. Ruben, a really difficult one, really, because you were leading for maybe all of 2 seconds. And just tell us what happened. Was it just maybe your emotions just got the better of you?
Well, I don't think so. I was just having a good run out of the corner, and then